sithi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali sigange, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, sithi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, sithi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, athi hlali hlatheni, yone hlali hlathe, yone hlali esigangeni, athi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlatheni, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali esigangeni, ari elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, yole, athi hlali hlathe, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, athi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, athi elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamazane, elele wenyamaza, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, athi hlali hlathe, yone hlali hlathe, athi elele wenyamazane, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, amazane wenyamaza, chiyo, chiyo mama chiyo, ungakhale kuzolunga mama, ayaga, awelele, senzeni thina, ungakhale kuzolunga mama, awelele mayaga, senzeni thina, asibasabe siyabafuna thina, awelele mayaga, senzeni thina, asibasabe siyabafuna thina, awelele mayaga, senzeni thina, siyawufuna sizothatha umhlaba awelele mayakaya senzeni thina siyawufuna sizothatha umhlaba awelele sothatha umhlaba arima yaga yaga awelele awelele senzeni thina sobashaya thina awelele mayagaya senzeni thina sobashaya thina awelele senzeni thina siyawufuna sizothatha umhlaba awelele senzeni thina baretso atsoha orobale iyoyo atsoha baretso atsoha Malema uwata masocha iyoyo tuwatoa Malema uwata masocha iyoyo tuwatoa areto atoa areto atoa
Hey, two. Viva EFF, FIFA. Viva EFF, FIFA. Long live EFF, long live. Long live EFF, long live. Tata, choo-choo, tata. Tata, choo-choo, tata. Let's sit down, comrades. The president is almost here. He's 2 minutes away. Asihlalen phansi kwizitulo sethu. So fako vumako mnando, yeno shusho wake wafagwa. Let's welcome our president. Let's inspire our president. Simbonisi ukuthi ama ground force akhona la eGauteng. Viva EFF Gauteng, viva! Viva EFF Gauteng, viva! Viva EFF Tshwane, viva! Viva EFF West Rand, viva! Viva EFF Sedibeng, viva! Viva EFF Sedibeng, viva! Viva EFF Johannesburg, viva! Viva EFF Johannesburg, viva! Mandla! Hey, two! Asifake TJ.
Amandla! Hey, two! Hey, two! Matla! Haruna! Long live the EFF, long live! Long live the EFF, long live! Long live the EFF, long live! Long live the EFF in Gauteng, long live! Long live the EFF in Gauteng, long live! Long live the EFF in South Africa, long live! Long live the EFF in South Africa, long live! Long live the Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema, long live! Long live the Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema, long live! Long live the Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema, long live! Long live the Secretary General Marshal Dlamini, long live! Long live the Secretary General Marshal Dlamini, long live! Phansi ngemidlwembe, phansi! Phansi ngemidlwembe, phansi! Phansi ngamasela, phansi! Phansi ngamasela, phansi! Phansi ngopanyaza, phansi. Phansi ngopanyaza, phansi. Amandla. Two. No, thank you very much. Sizothanda ukunibingelela ninonke as ground forces of the EFF. Phambi we all have the agenda. However, izoba so. We're doing the opening and welcome, followed by the credentials of this gathering, which is going to be led by the Gauteng Provincial Secretary, Commissar Mushekoma. After that, we are then going to ask Commissar Sinawo to come forward azos qalela ngomthandazo wethu inkosi sikelela. We're then going to ask the President Tusihle Lonzi to come forward and greet you. Then we call upon the Secretary General of the Economic Freedom Fighters. President, before you are ground forces of the Economic Freedom Fighters, are the ground forces of the Economic Freedom Fighters in Gauteng who understand the question that was asked of them, what is to be done. They are here today and they remain committed to the Economic Freedom Fighters because they understand that that which you asked, what is to be done in 2013, has not yet been done. They are here, Commander-in-Chief, to listen to a message that you are going to give us. Tirelessly, they work the ground, protecting the Economic Freedom Fighters, protecting the integrity of the black people here in Gauteng. Before you are the structures of the Economic Freedom Fighters in all regions. Eguruleni is here. The city of Johannesburg is here. Sidibeng is here. West Rand is here. Tshwane is here to reaffirm its position, not only behind your steward leadership, but also behind the economic liberation movement called the Economic Freedom Fighters. President, we also have in the midst of this meeting, because we understand Gauteng is a metropolitan, it has everybody from every corner of South Africa who come here. We also have the provincial chairperson and the provincial secretary of Limpopo who are here with us today. We'd like them to stand up and just wave and greet Commissar Mapolo and Commissar Khotatsu. I also see the secretary of Mpumalanga who is here, if he can just wave as well so that we can see him. Without a waste of further time, President, there are no enemies of the EFF who are here. There are members who are loyal to the cause. There are members who are loyal to the Central Command team. There are members who are loyal to the liberation movement that will emancipate our people, called the Economic Freedom Fighters. We'll now call upon Commissar Sinawo Tambo to come forward. Sizoqala ngomthandazo wethu inkosi sikelela. Amandla. Awe two.
Mandla. Away, two. Let's stand up, comrades, and take off our hats and sing Ngosigelele without distemper, as composed by Enoch Sontonga. Astulen song fighters. Ngosigelele Afrika malupakanyisu pondolwayo izwa imithandazo yethu Ngosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo Ngosi sikeleli Afrika maluphakanyisu phondo lwayo yizwa imithandazo yethu Ngosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo sithi woza moya hawoza moya o moya woza woza moya oyi oyingcwele Ngosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo murena buluka sitshaba sa Yesu ufedise dintwa le matshwenyeo murena bulu sitshaba sa Yesu ufedise dintwa le matshwenyeo usibuluke usibuluke murena hausitshaba sa Yesu sitshaba sa Afrika usibuluke usibuluke murena hausitshaba sa Yesu sitshaba sa Afrika makube njalo kude kube kunaphakade kude kube kunapha makube njalo kude kube kunaphakade kude kube kunaphakade mandla.
Thank you very much, Commissars. Now, we'll now move to the next item of the agenda. Gauteng. We're going to ask the Deputy Secretary of the province, Fighter Bethel Munyai, to give us the credentials for today's meeting and gathering of fighters. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mandla, viva EFF, viva! Kwata fighter, kwata! Kina fighter, kina! Thank you very much. Greetings to the President, greetings to the Commissar deployed to Gauteng, greetings to the PCT, led by Commissar Nkululeko Tunga and Commissar Mushekoma. And greetings to the ground forces and leaders of the regions. The credentials are as follows. Expected CCT deployees present today, expected is 4, present today is 4. PCT expected is 23, present is 21. I'll go to the regional command teams. Tshwane expected RCT members is 19, present today is 17. Ekurhuleni expected is 20, present today is 15 RCT members. Johannesburg, expected is 19, present today is 14. West Rand, expected is 16, present today is 5, 11 absent. Sidibeni, expected is 19, present today is 19. Branch command team, total branches representation we are expecting to 529, present today is 504. Tshwane in breakdown, expected from the branches representation 107, present is 107. Ekurhuleni, expected is 102, branch representative, today present is 100. Johannesburg, 135 expected, present is 130. West Rand, expected from 102, is 102, present today is 94. Sidibeng, present today is 73. We can safely today we are 95% representation in this Grand Force Forum of Gauteng. Chairperson, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary of the Province. Indeed, President, Ground Forces woke up to a message this morning saying that this afternoon they must come. And as dedicated and as disciplined as they adhered to the directive to come here and avail themselves. These ground forces, President, at any given time, under any material conditions, you can safely know that you've got a battalion that is forever able to respond to the call of the organization. A gona bogas mo re utlwile ba bolella ba re he gona le bogas ke batho ke mafighter ke di leaders tsa community ke di leaders tsa society. They are here. They can see them. They are even flighting live, those who say that there is bogus here in Gauteng, to witness that indeed the EFF is alive and that the EFF is alive in Gauteng. We're now going to call upon the president of the EFF Student Command, the leader of young people, President Sihle Lonzi. Amandla! Away, two.
Amandla! Long live the EFF, long live! Long live the EFF, long live! Long live the Commander-in-Chief, long live! Long live the Commander-in-Chief, long live! Long live the EFF Students Command, long live! Long live the EFF Students Command, long live! Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'd like to take this opportunity to greet the Commander-in-Chief, the leadership of the EFF, the Secretary General, CCT members, provincial leaders, regions, as well as the Secretary General of the EFF Students Command who is with us today, and the provincial leadership of the EFF Students Command. President, I was given strict instructions to just greet. So as I greet and sit down, President, I just want to confirm to you that I've renewed my membership. I'm a member of the EFF. When my chairperson called me and said, you have not renewed your membership, I said, I'm going to renew my membership because I joined the EFF. I didn't join anyone, I joined the EFF. Commander-in-Chief, even in the Olympics, President, when the 100-meter sprinters are approaching the track, they don't greet each other. They are not friends with each other. They don't hug each other. They focus on the race. We are not insulting anyone. We are not belittling anyone. We are focusing on our race. If they want us, they will find us at the finish line. If they want us, they will find us at the end of the race. Amandla! Away two! Away with betrayals! Away! Away with betrayals! Away! Emma fighter gali walana. Emma fighter gali wala. I am a neighbor. Are you choo? Emma lema gali walana. Emma lema gali walana. I am a neighbor. Are you choo? City ayuzo apolesa. Ayuzo apole. I am a neighbor. Are you choo? Wemale magali walana. Wemale magali walana. I am a neighbor. Are you choo? Amanda.
Mandla, the most sound and solid decision ever was to join the economic freedom fighters. Baetapili, I'm now going to, just before we call upon, we'll just like to acknowledge the presence of the provincial chairperson of the Western Cape, Commissar Nati, that is here with us today. If you can just stand, let fighters see you. And Commissar Vena, who is the provincial chairperson of the Eastern Cape. Thank you. We are now going to call upon the engine of the economic freedom fighters. The one who, on a daily basis, gives us leadership, guides us, protects the EFF, even physically at times. We are calling upon the engine of the people's movement, Commissar Secretary General Marshal Dlamini Amandla.
Amanda! Viva EFF, viva! Viva EFF, viva! Viva EFF, viva! Long live the Commander-in-Chief, long live! 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 Amanda! Thank you very much, Chair. We're not going to waste time. I want to call the #1 ground force of this revolutionary movement. We're going to call the fearless fighter of this revolutionary movement. We want to call the #1 nyamazane of this movement. Funa ukuthi Mongameli sikehlathini manje. Siyinyamazane sikehlathini manje. So ngifuna ukuthi inyamazane ozogibela phezu kwawo. Comrade President.
Amandla. Homa kuluiwe. Homa kuluiwe. Homa kuluiwe. Homa kuluiwe. Homa kuluiwe. Homa kuluiwe. Hauma kulwiwe. Ema kulwiwe. 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 Hayya ya yo. Hayya iso. Hayya ya yo. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Hayya ya yo. Hayya ya yo. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Awiso jantwengalale. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva! Long live EFF, long live! Auto, 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 EFF, auto, 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 EFF nyaga masuja. Ayeye tuwa. Amanda. Thank you very much. Our Secretary General, greetings to the convener of the province, our national spokesperson, Commissar Leon Mateis, and all commissars who are deployed to this province. Greetings to the provincial chairperson secretary of the province, along with the entire provincial command team and all regional command teams who are here today. We send our greetings to the provincial leaders who are here today and all members of the media and the people of South Africa. We salute the loyal and brave and dedicated ground forces of the EFF, to whom this organization of the poor and the dejected masses of our people belongs. We salute you, the true revolutionaries, who have dedicated your lives, your sweat and your blood to the liberation of our people, and have sworn never to betray the generational mission of freedom in favor of personal advancement. Fellow fighters, I stand before you as a proud president who gave an instruction in the early hours of this morning that all ground forces of the EFF must be gathered in Soweto by 6 o'clock. This call was made deliberately to test if the forces on the ground are intact and they can respond within 24 hours. I stand before you re-energized by your energy, inspired by your commitment, your fearless character, and the courage to take on the enemy without thinking twice in the name of the economic freedom in our lifetime. I can proudly say today to those who said I'm left alone, that I'm not alone. The ground forces are here to continue the battle for economic freedom in our lifetime. I stand before you as a leader that is confident of the future, because we know that the young people of the EFF, led by the president of the Student Command, are ready to take the baton from us and continue with the struggle for economic freedom. Comrades, we are very proud that we have an intact organization in this province and the whole of South Africa. All those who claim to be with us, they should know that a call is going to be made in each province around 3 in the morning, asking the leaders to convene the ground forces in less than 24 hours. And let's see if that province still has got ground forces like we demonstrated here today. Comrades, I salute you. I want to salute you because whether knowingly or unknowingly, you have been the first line of defense of our movement, as the constitution of the EFF demands of you. You did not listen to anyone who tried to persuade you into abandoning your constitutional obligation, which is to defend your organization. No one has the right to tell you how you must defend your organization. Only the Constitution must guide you, and not any level of manipulation by those who have turned their back on our struggle must convince you that you must be silent while our movement is under attack. Comrades, Section 6 of the EFF Constitution, which speaks to the principles of the EFF, is that is the only guide which we must all follow. There is no any other guide that we must follow except Section 6 of the Constitution of the EFF. When the organization is under attack, it is in Section 6, subsection 7b, where the EFF Constitution speaks to what it means to be loyal to the organization. This section states that loyalty to the organization means that at all times, members and leaders will not keep quiet when the organization is unfairly criticized and attacked in private and in public. This section, fellow fighters, demand of you to defend this organization. It demands that you do not keep quiet when the organization is attacked, both in private and in public. I want to tell you today, comrades, that to betray this movement for personal reasons constitute an attack on our movement. Comrades, it is this section of the EFF Constitution that obligates all of us to speak out in private and in public and declare where we stand when the attack of abandoning this movement confronts us. It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said in the United States, as they were confronted by the cruel regime of racism in that country, it was him who declared, open quote, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends," close quotes. Fellow fighters, as we face this testy moment in our movement and are confronted by betrayal of our struggle for economic freedom in exchange for personal gains, we must not bother ourselves about what our enemies are saying, but we must ask ourselves, why are those who claim to be our comrades silent? Why are those who are known and popular to be the most vocal on social media suddenly silent? Why are their voices when our movement is under attack? Where are those loud voices? Why do they not use their platforms to speak in defense of the EFF if they are truly loyal to this movement? It is our constitutional obligation to speak out and declare our confidence in this movement when those who were trusted with it chose to abandon it. However, comrade, if there are those amongst us who are to be ashamed to declare where they stand as we defend our movement. I'm willing to give you a simple task and go and look at what those closest to them are saying and how they are behaving. A leader of the EFF who is well known in the EFF, who's very popular in social media, on television, radio, and everywhere else. The EFF gets under attack. These leaders do not say anything, but because they don't know where they stand. But there is a practical way to find out where they stand. Just go and look at where their parents stand. Look at where their relatives stand. Look at where their spouses stand. You will know that those closest to them are speaking on their behalf because they whispered into their ears. How can someone say the decision to join Umkhonto weSizwe is the best decision ever taken, and my wife Mantra is the first one to like such a thing, and you say Julius Malema is with us, when the partner likes the things that seeks to denounce the organization and where the organization stands, where the relatives, where the cousins and siblings have declared where they stand, and you still ask yourself, where does this leader stand? Look at those around him and you will know where these leaders stand. Comrades, there is no one who must not declare their confidence in the EFF. Those who choose to be silent during the attack of the EFF, we must know them for being the silent enemies of our organization, and they must be treated as such. Comrades, do not make the mistake of choosing people tomorrow who are too ashamed to choose you today. You are too busy following other resignations, popularizing certain people that they must take over, yet they are silent when people decided to abandon you. Why can't they choose you? Why do you keep on choosing the people who never choose you when it is time for them to choose you? They are telling you silently that as the movement recovers from a difficult elections and is surrounded by vultures, they do not choose you. They are choosing what looks like greener pastures. Many of them are opportunistic because they want to see whether they will emerge in the upcoming Third National People's Assembly before they decide whether they will remain in the EFF or not. Many of them are using the Third National People's Assembly as a threat that if they do not get elected or are not part of the leadership discussions leading up to the conference, then they will leave and join MKP. We must never be blackmailed by those who want to threaten us with leaving after the Third National People's Assembly. I want to say to them, leave now. Leave now so that we can know how many soldiers we have in this struggle to liberate our people. You must leave today because nothing is going to change between now and December. Nothing is going to change now and in the future. The future looks bright because we determine it today. We are here to make our destiny for how the future looks like tomorrow. Leave now. We have no reason to beg anyone. If you want to leave, leave now and leave us alone. Even if we are alone, we'll always continue to speak truth to power. It's very painful to count the soldiers you don't have. Fellow fighters, none of you should allow anyone to bargain their loyalty for position. Anyone who bargains their loyalty in exchange for a position or deployment is an enemy agent who must be identified and isolated from our movement. Your silence has told us enough about your character. We do not need people who are considering their options in the EFF. We do not need people who are willing to sacrifice principle in exchange for blue lights in the EFF. We only need people who are loyal to this movement and loyal to our people no matter what. Our task now, comrades, is to build this movement and isolate those who think the EFF is a step ladder to positions and personal gain. Comrades, we need to remind ourselves why we joined the EFF. Our organization turned 11 years old on the 26th of July 2024, and we marked this milestone by recommitting ourselves to the ideals and principles that are within our founding manifesto and the organizational documents that guides us. One such a document which was discussed and adopted at the Second National People's Assembly of the EFF in 2019 is the organizational redesign document, which reminds us who we are and how we ought to wage this struggle for liberation. It is this document, along with our founding manifesto, that informs the character and form of our struggle and the aims within it that makes us the most dependable vehicle for the return of the land and the defeat of racism and imperialism. It is in this document that we seek to build this movement beyond individuals and build an EFF that manifests itself in the following ways: a Marxist-Leninist, Fanonian pan-continental movement with unquestionable ability to lead the whole of society towards economic freedom, comprised of community-based activist branches and members, affiliated workers' union, civil society organization, research and educational institutions, professional organizations, doctors for economic freedom, lawyers for economic freedom, engineers for economic freedom, teachers for economic freedom. An organization that has built adequate mass, political and ideological power to win elections and provide progressive, decisive and responsive socialist government at national, provincial and local government. An organization with maximum capacity to train, develop, guide and oversee and monitor all its deployees in all spheres of the state. A mass campaigning organization that consistently wins over members to the struggle for economic freedom and is active even in the period when there are no elections. A pan-continental movement with the ability to win elections not only in South Africa but in other parts of the African continent. An organization with elected structures at all levels that have an independent capacity to organize like you did tonight and mobilize society behind the struggle for economic freedom and assist ordinary people with everyday challenges. A fully functional organization with a functioning EFF Women's Command, Youth Command and Student Command, and ultimately a Young Pioneers Movement. An organization with excellent research and policy development capacity to guide all fighters and commissars deployed in all spheres of government. An organization with an institutional political school that produces the best graduates in various fields of study and has internal capacity to send minimum 500 students to the best university across the world every year. An organization with a sound relationship with other fraternal organizations on the African continent and other parts of the world. Organization with sound business interests that generate enough money to fund its own programs without reliance on external funders. An organization that owns all its properties and has a property portfolio which include national conference facilities and accommodation. An organization with full capacity, with a fully functional and efficient media publicity division that publish a weekly newspaper, quarterly journals, books, and has capacity to directly communicate with more than 10 million people all at once through various channels. An organization that has a perfect internal communication mechanism which will ensure that on a weekly basis members and activists of the organization have access to the latest organizational resolutions and programs. Comrades, the Central Command Team is your highest decision-making body, and the Central Command Team should be comprised of commissars
who have individual as well as collective capacity to provide leadership to the people of South Africa. The CCT should be composed of members who deeply understand the founding manifesto of the EFF, the constitution and all other policies of the organization. The CCT should be composed of members who are able to conduct political education and training to all lower structures of the organization. The CCT should be composed of members who will not complain about the vastness of South Africa and are thus able and willing to travel the length and breadth of South Africa to do the work of the organization. The CCT should be composed of commissars who will not completely depend on the organization for everyday basic organizational necessities, such as travel to their areas of deployment, and must have capacity to legitimately and legally fundraise in a manner that will not compromise the organization and themselves as individuals. CCT commissars should command absolute clarity on all issues, actively and consistently seek to improve their levels of knowledge and expertise on diverse range of issues and topics. The CCT should be defined by a certain degree of quality wherein only those who have demonstrated very qualified leadership qualities and loyalty to the organization should be able to be elected into this structure. The CCT should be composed of commissars who are able to coherently write perspective and submissions and are able to make presentation on their own writings. The CCT should be composed of commissars who can speak coherently and cogently without being guided by anyone. The CCT should be composed by commissars who are able to conduct media interviews and participate in public debate in a manner that will not bring doubt on the collective capacity of the organization. The province must have the same capacity. We cannot have a provincial leadership which cannot implement its own programs and hold mass rallies in stadiums without assistance of the head office. If you are a province that has never organized a rally without the national office putting any cent, you must know you do not meet the qualification of being a provincial structure. EFF provincial offices must be owned and controlled by the EFF structures that are relatively independent from the national leadership, and they will be responsible for all the lower structures in that province. The PCT must hold the same and relevant competencies in their province as those of the commissars. No one should be able to lead a province if you can't read and write your own perspective, if you can't conduct media interviews, if you can't agitate your own communities. Who are these regional leaders who don't have properly constituted RCTs? Why do they call themselves regional leaders without regional leadership? Why do they call themselves with regional leaders if they do not have membership? Why are they called regional leaders when the number of members is the same number of leaders of that particular region? The membership is the leadership. Therefore, there can't be leadership. Comrades, region must have capacity to organize their own events and organize their own memorial service in salutation of those who pass on. The regions must have the capacity to bury their own with dignity without any form of assistance by the provincial leadership. All of the substructures of the EFF have got an obligation to make sure that indeed where they exist, there is a fully fleshed branch of the EFF. You can never be a leader of the EFF if you don't come from a branch. What type of a branch do you have which can organize transport for members from one VD to the other VD? It can't be a legitimate branch. A branch must at least PCT meet once a week and hold membership meetings once a month. If your branch is not meeting weekly, there's no branch. A branch must have an address It must not depend on the address of the branch chairperson. Like other political parties do not have head offices. They depend on the address of the president of that political party. Let a branch have its own identifiable operation center where, when people need the EFF, can always go and visit that operation center. Branches must be fully functional, and they must have VD coordinators who are no less than 10 members. Branches of the EFF must be active members of their own communities. You must be active member in each and every street, organization, club, such as churches, stokvels, and all such organized formation. EFF branch must be able to communicate with all members of the community in the branch through the use of local media and all other necessary forms of mobilization and organizing. Fighters, you can't be an activist if you can't take part in the struggles of communities. You are not an activist if you cannot call a small event and agitate a community to protest against this or that community matter. Comrades, if you are an activist, you must be the first one to arrive when there is a funeral, a party or a wedding, any other form of activity in the community. You must be the first ones to respond. Always know the exact details of your community. You must know your neighbors. You must know how many disabled people are here, how many schools are here, how many churches are here, who stays where, what is the ecosystem of your community. Because if you do not know that, then you are not an activist. You must always be available for a genuine protest and mass action in their communities. If there is a protest in your community, you must be there, but it has to be a genuine protest, not an ANC factionalized protest which seeks to remove one councillor and replace him with another factional councillor. Comrades, you must be an organizer. A revolutionary fighter is a professional in the way she approaches the political question of the revolution. A revolutionary fighter is the one who abolishes her ego or his ego and attachment to personal success and achievement. Do not be obsessed with self-look and how you appear, but be obsessed with how community survives on daily basis. Comrades, as a fighter, you must always be guided by revolutionary morality if you want to succeed. Comrades, a fighter can never be depressed. A fighter can never be bored. A fighter can never be sad. A fighter does not hold grudges. A fighter does not complain unnecessarily because they've got too much in their hands. Fighters always read and listen to people to understand the struggles and the sufferings of the people on the ground. A revolutionary fighter that is characterized by charitable and practices that principle of the left hand must never know what the right hand is doing. A revolutionary fighter does not dwell in showing off material because you want to be recognized as an individual that possesses material. A revolutionary fighter leads by example and does everything with integrity. A revolutionary fighter is an internationalist who seeks at all times to connect local to international struggle. You can't say you are a revolutionary activist and a fighter, yet you are xenophobic. You can't say you are an activist and a fighter, yet you hate your fellow Africans. Fighters, this is what made you join the EFF. This is what made you fall in love with the EFF. Why do you now look for individual validation for you to pursue that which you signed for? You said you are joining this organization voluntarily without any expectation of material benefit. Why can't you remind yourself of your own oath? Because you took an oath with your organization, and the oath is binding on your conscience. All of a sudden, you think that the perspective of this organization should come from the social media. All of a sudden, what Twitter says about xenophobia, about loving Africa and borderless Africa, is what becomes your perspective. You forget why you joined the EFF. You follow that which is sponsored on Twitter. There is no branch of the EFF on Twitter or Facebook that has any right to declare on leadership question of the EFF or dictate to the EFF which direction you must take politically. If you are taking your guidance from the social media, you are a lost soldier. It means Elon Musk is your president, because Elon Musk controls Twitter. He can open as many accounts and tweet like these are the people who support the EFF, whereas they are sponsored accounts of the owner of Twitter. For a second, you must know that Elon Musk comes from South Africa. He's got interest here in South Africa. What stops him from manipulating a Twitter perspective to suit a perspective that will defend the status quo? Where, on all the guiding principles I've alluded to, did they say that Twitter or social media will always give you guidance on what you need to say? Twitter sent you running when you defended that black child, whether she's Nigerian or not, and they even said to you, you must dare defend her. Her mother is fraud and everything else. All of you went into a cocoon because you responded to a sponsored view which said you must hate this black child. The mother is fraud. For a second, you must love South Africans. And for a second, you also doubted that there was a second where you never loved South Africans. You get told by Twitter, you get told by Twitter on what should happen in the EFF the following day. I did not join the struggle on Twitter. I joined the struggle in the dusty streets of Seshego. It was the poverty of our people that led me into joining the struggle. There is no media, there is no social media, there is no commentator, there is no political analyst who can tell me what needs to happen. On all matters, I'm guided by the EFF founding manifesto, the Constitution and the Code of Conduct of the EFF. Why have you surrendered our leadership to Twitter and the Facebook battalions? Comrades, the struggle has proven over a period of time now that no struggle will ever be won on Twitter. The struggle must be won on the ground by waking the branches of the EFF. I'm not saying you must not participate, but when you participate in the social media, you must be a soldier with political consciousness, that no apolitical person will ever determine your political process. Comrades, we did not join the struggle to be in power. We joined the struggle to liberate our people. And if our people get liberated tomorrow, even before we get into power, we can resign the struggle because our people are liberated. We are not here to self-seek. We must always stick to the principle. Some of these social media commentators was even saying, you comrades don't love the EFF. You don't want the EFF to win elections. That's why you are saying what you are saying about this child who's a fraud. And all of a sudden you are scared to stay your position. Your position on that girl was necessitated by the fact that an African child is under attack. Any other means to defend each other is important that we implement it. Not this thing that you are doing, that you choose to fight an African child in favor of a white person. and you are still told, keep quiet. Because you don't know why you joined the struggle. Comrades, everyone must know why they joined the EFF. Everyone must know each and every policy position of the EFF. And you must never allow the social media commentators to impose on you uncontrollable egos on the leadership of the EFF. Since Floyd left, I've seen so many parading of people on the social media. And all of a sudden, you want that to guide your political perspective as branches of the EFF. No, you are not going to be guided by Twitter. You are going to be guided by your own internal discussions, guided by the Third National People's Assembly guidelines. You must discuss leadership in your branches. You must discuss leadership in your regions. You must discuss leadership in your provinces. Even when there is a provincial position, you must know that you must not put undue pressure on the delegates of branches. They can arrive at national conference and still decide to go against the provincial position. Why? 90% of delegates to that national conference will be branches. Therefore, it makes that conference a conference of branches, not a conference of provinces. The branches must always be respected. Do not surrender the power. Do not surrender the power of the branches into the hands of the social media commentators. Comrades, you must die with your boots on. You must be remembered for being a brave warrior and not a coward that became an amoeba because the Twitter trends did not favor what you are saying. I do not exist for trends. I exist for building a strong organization on the ground. That's why we agree that every branch that got less than 10% must not go to a conference. Why? It is a principle of 10 years, 10%. Every branch must have 10% because we are 10 years and beyond. So if your branch did not get 10%, don't cry. Our branches are not branches of conferences. They are branches of working the ground. We are just on the topic of a conference in this regard, not in a topic of whether you are a right branch or not. Your branch might even have achieved more votes than the next branch which has achieved 10%. Don't worry, 10 years, 10%. Just be guided by that. All branches will have one delegate and there will be gender parity and will be guided by zebra approach. We will not be guided by Twitter, who's going to be our delegate. The members of the EFF will decide who's going to the conference of the EFF. This is the organization of the branches. It is not the organization of the social commentators. Do not put yourself under pressure because of people who are attacking you using the government resources in the government offices. Today, we are told so many hundreds of people got millions of rands from the Department of Sports. I urge all of you to go and check those individuals who benefited money from Department of Sports. All of them were given money to tweet a narrative that suits the government. It is a sponsored agenda by the state to create an impression that the perspective is in this direction. If you are not careful, this organization is going to be run by Gulam. You don't even know how Gulam looks like. You don't even know who Gulam is. But Gulam informs your thinking because you don't have politics. You have replaced the founding manifesto with Gulam. You have replaced founding manifesto with ENCA, with News 24, and all of the white established hostile media and illiterate 405. I've never seen a channel with such a political illiteracy like 405. If you want to see how bad that channel is, you must look at who's their best anchor. Olim Gambi. That guy's got no idea what's happening. All he did is to wear a nice suit with a tie and blow hot air because he's got a platform to say so. Who are the owners of 405? Do you know the relationship of those who own 405 and those who left the EFF? Go and make your research. Who are the owners of 405 and why 405 has taken the posture it has taken? Comrades, all of you who are in provinces that are official oppositions, you must speak every day on SABC. It is not a state broadcaster, it is a public broadcaster. When the premier speaks, you must speak in response of the premier. When the MECs speak on potholes, even if you didn't hear, once they bring that to attention, what time did he speak? 7 o'clock, our right of reply. We must use the SABC as our own tool. It does not belong to these people. Comrades, let's go and establish proper branches to go to BPAs. No one must use money. No one must use social media to decampaign his leaders. No one must produce a list of candidates. No one should threaten anyone for holding a different view. No one must spread malicious rumors about another fighter. No one must leak confidential information to the media in secret. Negative campaigning in the EFF is not allowed. No region must say a branch is corrected when the branch is not corrected. No region must say a branch has got a delegate when that branch has got no delegate. No one must use the Facebook, WhatsApp or Twitter to promote their candidate. Mamrinelwe, if your name is being discussed on Facebook, WhatsApp or Twitter as a possible leader of the EFF, you must stand up and say, not in my name. Do not discuss and discredit our organization in my name. Once you are being discussed to succeed the leadership of the EFF or to become the leader of the EFF in public, and you keep quiet, it means you agree with what has been said in public. No one must keep quiet. Leaders must stand up and say, do not say such things in my name. Why? We don't want our organization to look like it is disorganized and dysfunctional. And it must never appear like this organization, it is in conflict with itself. Because when you argue in the Facebook and social media, the ordinary masses who follow you do not understand why are these people fighting when they belong to to the same political organization. Never take that fight to the public. It's a fight that belongs internally in the EFF, and when we go outside, we project a united front. Comrades, I'm reminding you of all of this because you must never be overwhelmed by individuals. You must always be overwhelmed by what made you to join the struggle. Many of us forget why we joined the struggle. We did not join Julius Malema. Our organization is 11 years now. It's bigger than Julius Malema. Whether he dies tomorrow, whether he lives tomorrow, our organization should be able to live forever. Comrades, it is now time to build an iron wall in defense of our movement. As we confront not only our historical enemy, but those amongst us who wish to see the death of this revolutionary movement. We must unite and close ranks against any and all elements that may seek to use our National People's Assembly as an opportunity to infiltrate and destroy the EFF. We must guard against opportunism, factionalism, and self-entitlement, greed, and all attempts to distract us from our generational mission. We have the duty to those who have fallen before us and to future generations to show that the recent elections do not mark an end of the EFF. The doomsayers have predicted the death of the EFF too many times. Fellow fighters, we have died many times, and we must never be afraid to die again, because every time they have predicted our death, we have emerged stronger and more resilient. Do not be persuaded by those who have fallen along the way. Do not be discouraged by those who have lost hope, because they thought that the revolution is a bed of roses. We must remain confident. We must remain dedicated. We must never be shaken by those who joined our struggle for personal gain. Comrades, there is nothing wrong we have done to anyone. We have not wronged anyone internally and externally. Those who left have never said to us, create a space for us to ascend into power so that we too can lead. They've never, through their factional groupings or individual courage, come forward and say, you can't be president forever. At some point, I must be president. You celebrate cowards who have never confronted us, who have never said to us, this is our cry, this is what we are complaining about, this is what we need you to do. None of those things have ever happened. And you think those are the brave ones. If they were brave, they were supposed to confront us right in front of us and take the platform internally and challenge our authority. Why should we be encouraged by cowards? Why should you follow cowards? Since when cowards determine your future? Comrades, this organization has never had any challenging moment ever. We have never, amongst the leadership, differed fundamentally about anything. If that issue is there, let them raise it. And they must tell you at which platform did they raise it and what was the response. That's why they go around spreading malicious rumors, because they've got nothing politically solid as to why they betrayed the movement of the people. I was never in the negotiations for GNU. The SG was there, the TG was there. Vuyani was there. I was in Polokwane throughout the discussions of GNU. I was called by the Secretary General when the negotiations collapsed that you need to come back and apply your skills and find a way to reach out to these people that you worked with before, because we're not hearing each other. I was the first one, by the way, who said we need to join the GNU, and even declared that in public. The only difference I had with them was that I will not join the GNU that has got a DA and Freedom Front Plus. Comrades, today they say to you they were offered positions in the negotiations, and when they came to tell me, I denied them those positions and I went behind their back to speak to Cyril for me to become a deputy president. Here is your Secretary General. Do not do it here. Do it silently in my absence. SG, were you ever offered any position in the negotiations? The answer is no. They were never offered any positions. Maybe in their imaginations, they imagined positions. There was never any position offered in the negotiations. We had never reached that level where we had to discuss positions. We have never. They must tell you who did. I'm saying this in public. Mbalula can contradict that if he wants and say, we offered them 1, 2, 3. There was never such a thing. If you remember the Marikana Commission, when Dalimpofu challenged Ramaphosa in the Marikana Commission, Ramaphosa said to Dalibat, you said 1, 2, 3 outside before we came in here, because that is his style, wanting to embarrass Dalimpofu. I want to tell you here and now, I've never asked any position of deputy president from Ramaphosa, and I will never do that because I don't have anything to do with what Ramaphosa has to do. I met Cyril and I said this in public, repeatedly, and I said to Cyril, we cannot go into a coalition with the DA and Freedom Front Plus. We are prepared as the EFF to stay outside and allow you with your 40% to constitute a minority government. And you can be guaranteed of our vote every time you come into parliament, as long as you don't go with these two of the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. There was never any name mentioned between me and Cyril except the name of Veronica Mente. I said to Cyril, even when you constitute a government of 40%, you must know will demand Deputy Speaker to hold that government accountable. And that Deputy Speaker is Veronica Mente. That's what I told Cyril in the discussion of two people. I said this in public. After that, even after I said this in public, Mbalula responded and said, he finds it unprincipled that people have 4 eyes. And out of that 4 eyes, EFF president goes and speaks about what happened in that meeting. I told President Ramaphosa in that meeting, I'm going to have to repeat what we discussed here. Because I know in the future, people are going to misinterpret what we spoke about. President Ramaphosa agreed that I can communicate anything that we discussed in that meeting in public, because there is nothing untoward which was discussed in public. So who are these clowns to come around and say, I've ever asked for a position from Ramaphosa, that they were offered ministers and I denied the ministers because I desperately wanted to be the deputy president? Fighters, I'm the one who said Floyd Shibambo can be Minister of Finance. I'm the one who said I'm even prepared to stand aside as long as you have Floyd Shibambo as a Minister of Finance. Today, I'm the one who went around seeking for positions. So fighters, you must never listen to the doomsayers who have an agenda to destroy our movement. This movement will never be destroyed by rumor mongering and position mongering by individuals who seek themselves more than the revolution. We have a duty here, Comrade SG, to propel our movement forward. We have a duty to unite these forces. And as from today, as agreed in the War Council, Secretary General will be the chief whip of the EFF in Parliament and lead the forces of the EFF in pursuit of a radical movement in Parliament. We will not abandon our radicalism in Parliament. We will not abandon our quality input in Parliament. And no treater is going to tell us to abandon the Progressive Caucus. We are in a Progressive Caucus because we agreed on a progressive charter. But let me tell you, we are not in alliance with MK. We have nothing to do with MK. What MK does is none of our business. We disagree with MK. We are going to contest MK. We are going to say what we want to say and how we feel about MK. But when we arrive in Parliament, the Progressive must unite against the GNU of the racist DA and the Freedom Front Plus. We have no business to be concentrating on MK and what MK does. And no Twitter is going to dismantle that which they never established. Before we established a progressive caucus, there was never a Twitter perspective that said, when you arrive there, you must go and constitute a progressive caucus. We did it on our own without being told by those who tell us today to stay out of which they don't know what went behind this idea. We might be angry, we might be disappointed, but we must never lose focus of what we want to attain. And therefore, we must ensure that all progressive parties that belong to the people of South Africa and have been proven through electoral support, unite. It is not us who chose MK. The people who chose MK said, you guys go there and become the opposition. And we are going to become the best opposition. Comrades, the GNU must be declared the enemy of the EFF. I am shocked because these people who left and who are now willing to leave and who are silent as we speak now are the ones who are saying we must join the GNU. They said to us that we must join the GNU, the DA and Freedom Front Plus will walk away. I asked them the same question I asked even during the negotiations. Just a few days ago, at the anniversary of the EFF, and Dalimpof is my witness. I said, if we go into the GNU, the DA doesn't walk out, what do we do? They said the DA will walk out. I said, we have heard that part. What if they don't walk out? They said we stay. I said, well, I can't stay in a GNU with the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. I refuse. No, the people want to take us to GNU. We are concentrating that the possibility of these people going to GNU is very high. They go a different direction of where they wanted to take us. We refuse the GNU. We still refuse it. We don't want the GNU. Fighters, we must make sure that all our councillors and all the deployees are disciplined and continue to pursue that which they have been deployed for. The GTU shall fall under the office of the president, and all powers that belong to the deputy president will go into the office of the president. And everything else that looks like the former deputy president shall be dismantled in the EFF and then gotten rid of with immediate effect. The GTU and all those who served in the GTU under the deputy president are dissolved. You want to deploy anyone into the government on behalf of the EFF, you shall report to the office of the president. We are taking charge of our organization now. We are tired of entrusting in the hands of wrong people. We have been betrayed for too long. We have been sold out for too long. We have been trusting for too long. We need to take it into our hands and run it ourselves. Comrades, this organization will live forever because everybody who hasn't performed well as a deployee of the EFF on Friday next week shall receive the letter from the GTU to ask why you should remain in your position when you have not brought the result during the elections. Comrades, we are opening a new chapter now. And this chapter exists without them. If you want to belong to the previous chapter that has got them, you can go and join the previous chapter. We now are opening a new chapter, and this chapter shall exist without them. Our destiny begins now. We are marching forward without them. If you are still longing for them, you know where you can find them. They are no longer here. Nothing that looks like them is going to be found in here. Our organization is going to be a pure EFF. Our organization is not going to be EFF during the day and MK at night. Our organization is not going to become GNU during the day and EFF at night. Everything is EFF. We don't speak any other language except the EFF. One of the leaders of the MKP told me in Parliament that the EFF, some of the EFF leaders were so helpful, you know, the way they welcomed us, the way they helped us here in Parliament. It was as if they are members of MKP. And I said, oh, which ones? Oh, that's good. Which ones? I was given a list of those that welcomed them. And they, for a second, MKP thought these people were members of MKP. How can someone think I'm a member of another organization? It's clear that you have not been with us. You have been with them. We have nothing against what those people are doing. Even those who left the EFF, when we arrive there in Parliament, we'll debate on the same side with them like we did now recently with Mutletama and Sipombata, who come from the EFF. When we found them in the MKP, we're never hostile to MKP because it has got members or former members of the EFF. We worked with them in Parliament. The same way we're going to work with these ones. Our friendship will start and end on that platform called Parliament. Outside that, Sitle, the president of the Student Command, you are right. We have no progressive caucus anywhere. We have no progressive caucus in the universities. We have no progressive caucus in our communities. We have the EFF Student Command and the EFF. Progressive caucus in Parliament, in legislature, in councils, it ends there. When we leave those places, we assume our full independence as organization and confront each other toe for toe because we are in contest for power, all of us. Comrades, we have made it very clear that as we live here today, we are going to KwaZulu-Natal. We will listen to the structures of the EFF, and on Monday there shall be a clear direction of what's going to happen in KwaZulu-Natal. We will never abandon that province. It is our province. We are going to contest it and we are going to win it. Fighters, even here in Gauteng, you must never surrender all the wards that have gone to MKP. You need to go into those wards and contest those wards and bring them back into the EFF. You have done it with this election. You put Mashaba where he belongs. Mashaba used to be a loudmouth that thought he was something he's not. And then you went to all those wards that Mashaba took from us. You reclaimed all of them now. That's why the PEM man is well behaved, because you taught him politics. That politics is not equivalent of producing a hair product. Comrades, invest in this youth. The future going forward is the youth. The leadership that we are going to elect must be reflective of the youth. We must not die when we can reproduce ourselves through the youth. And because we love the youth, Floyd Shibambo shall be replaced by Snao Tambo in Parliament as a member of the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. Comrades, Jimmy Manyi shall be replaced by Narsir Paulsen, who is our commissar and a trusted confidant in the Western Cape province. We're fighting now, we're not playing. You invite us into a fight, we accept it. Are chabi madi, re chaba ho fenywa. Where there is a fight, you will find us. We will never retreat in defense of this movement. Comrades, we are going to consolidate the structures and the words towards a total victory in 2026. The journey to 2026 starts now. We must build our branches now in order to emerge victorious in 2026. Commissar Dunga, you must tell Panyaza he doesn't know what he's talking about. When he says in the EFF, if there were elders, there will not have been a fight between Floyd and Julius. Where were the elders in 2012 when we got expelled? It's not true that ageism resolved political opportunism. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There were elders there in 2012 when the youth was under attack. And this youth was not under attack from the youth necessarily. It was under attack from the elders themselves. People forget easily. So you must not forget easily. Arieng Rolwa. Comrades, when you lose some votes, you are going to lose some friends. I've been where I am today. That which you see, I've seen it before. That those who were very close to me, I woke up one day, they were nowhere to be found. That those who betrayed me today were the closest after my wife to my glass of water. I now ask myself, what if these people poisoned me? Because every time I stood up to go to a bathroom, I gave over my glass to them. That's how much close these people were to me. But let me tell you, I will never lose confidence on humanity. I'll never lose confidence on the leadership and the cadreship of our movement. In revolution, you must all accept there will be days those you trust turn against you. It's not only in revolution, even in our personal lives. Those we trust one day, they will wake up like strangers and people who are not known to us. Especially as we keep on losing votes. You must know every vote you lose, you stand a chance of losing so many opportunities who are coming to you and closer to you because they thought you are about to become something. It doesn't only happen in politics. It happens even in families. You must be alive to that reality. I thank all of you for your messages and your Bible verses. I even thought someone died or something because it was read chapter what and chapter this and I was like, they don't know that it comes with the territory. It looks like it is going to happen for as long as we are in the struggle. But it doesn't mean we must lose confidence and trust in humanity. Comrades, I'm very proud that I stand before you today. There is no single one of them who can ever say I betrayed them. I've never sold anyone in my entire life. People used me. People used me for self-enrichment. People became what they became. I never used them for anything. I can tell you now, when they were accused of killing Godrich's daughter, I stood up for them. If I had a problem with them, I would have been a political opportunist and said, you are now accused of a serious allegation. You need to step aside or step down while we're investigating. I said they will never do that. I didn't have to talk to them. That's how much I believed in these comrades. Had something like that be said about me, were they going to say, not him? Had something about me raping a person said about me, something about rape about me being said, will they say the same thing about me? That not him. But I said, without asking them twice whether you were there or not, I said, it's not true. I don't know the facts, but it will never happen. They will never have done that. At every opportunity in their private conversations and in their own cocoons, they took that opportunity to discredit me and speak very bad of me. And they thought I didn't know about it. I know them for who they are. But because I chose you, I choose to live with them for the sake of the unity of our movement. You must never, ever use these experiences that I have to become paranoid and see a spy everywhere you walk in the EFF. This must never be a paranoia. This must never be an evidence enough for you not to trust your own comrade and defend them. What they do is their business. Remain principled and defend your own fellow soldiers on the ground. We will not be betrayed today only. We'll be betrayed into the future. But ours doesn't belong to us only. We inherited it from those who died. This is not our struggle. This is a struggle of our forefathers. This is a struggle of those who came before us, died without having achieved the objective of this struggle. So you have no right at all not to believe in this cause because people died for this cause, because of the behavior of some few individuals. This is a reason more enough for you to remain determined and know why Chrisani was killed. Know why these people killed their own comrades. We should be able to learn from history that Thomas Sankara was killed by those who were close to him. But the killing of Thomas Sankara by those who were close to him never deterred you from joining the struggle. Actually, you use that principle and determination you use that principle I don't care what they do to me. I don't care what they do to my family. They will never do anything worse to me than what they did to Winnie Mandela. Who am I? When she stayed in jail alone, in solitary, and had to speak to ends, to communicate to the ends a determination and commitment to achieve political freedom in our lifetime. Peter died to the struggle because those around him said Peter was a sellout. And the leadership in exile said, well, who did Peter sell out and how? Till today, we're never told who Peter sold out. So they will never do anything worse they have not done before. Worse with me, a child of a domestic worker, a child of epileptic mother, a child who has got no parents, no family. Who am I to these people? When they could do such thing to such people who are powerful and come from powerful families. I don't know how I arrived here. No one can explain, even in my family, how I arrived here. We were never meant to be here. So they can do what they want to do. We have achieved more than what we have anticipated. Politically and individually, as people who joined the struggle. So you must know that I am not shaken by any of these things. They always go. And in less than few months' time, they come back to ask for favors from us. All of them have left the EFF. In less than no time, they came for help from the EFF. And I reminded this leadership today that no one must come with anything from these people to me. If you've got discreet arrangements with them, whatever you do, never come to me and say, President, can we help them with, medical bills? They were with us during the revolution. No. I've been abused, it's enough. I've been so nice to them, it's enough. Their mothers have got their roof over their head. Mine has got a tombstone over her head. But I've always helped them and ensured that they've got their homes and have got their houses, that their mothers are housed. They are well looked after. I still want them to come and tell me, what wrong did I do to them? I went to the house of the deputy president, former deputy president of the EFF, and I said, I chose to come to your house after you wrote me a letter because I wanted you to have a home ground advantage. 2, you said to me in the letter, you did not renew your membership, which means I'm not your president, you're not a member. So for those 2 reasons, you have no reason to be scared to tell me anything that I've done to you. And I looked at him and I said, what did I do to you, Floyd? He said, nothing. It's not about anything. It's a political decision, which I've accepted. The 2 of us. When we finished, I said, call SG. So SG can hear. And I told SG in his presence, I asked him if I did anything wrong. Why? Because I must not repeat this thing to another person. I said to him, you owe it to me to tell me what wrong did I do, so I don't do it to SG. He said nothing. It's a political decision. I don't believe that, but I respect it. It is his personal decision, which we must all respect, and we must all move forward. This chapter of wanting to concentrate on individuals must end now. We have an immediate task when we leave here. We cannot be told by the media what needs to happen. We said to you, we are going to the 3rd National People's Assembly. That's where the focus is. We are going to the by-elections in some of the wards. That's where the focus is. Stop concentrating on what is gone. It's water under the bridge. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. It's done. to overemphasize it is a deliberate agenda to redirect us from what is our agenda. You have mourned, it's enough. You can't mourn forever. Today ends the mourning period. Re a thobola, mamothakis chila. We are ending the mourning period today. Stop sulking. Go and revive your branch. Keep yourself busy with the branches of the EFF. Keep yourself busy with the community issues on the ground. Let's stop complaining and moaning about people who are gone. But fighters, I owed this explanation to you. I can't do it through the media. They did not elect me. They did not make me who I am. They did not put me where I am. You did. That's why I asked to come and explain to you so that you all know where I come from. I've never acted arrogantly in the whole situation. That's why I explained to you how, when I received the news, I handled the whole situation. It came as a shock. I was in Polokwane. I came back. Immediately the same day, I received a letter. No one will say, this guy handled this thing arrogantly and dismissed people like they always want to say. I didn't do anything. I went. And I've got the conversation, all of it here. So that Samkelo, I don't know if Samkelo can write or what. So that one day when Samkelo decide to write a book about me when I turn 60, these things must be there. I'll give them to those who are going to write a book. They will find in this conversation, I respect your decision, but at least you owe it to me to explain its rationality. And I'm prepared to come to your house. I'm in Polokwane. And they said you can come. And then I left Polokwane, I came here. So I was never given an opportunity to deal with this matter. And I dealt with it arrogantly in a dismissive way. I met it for the first time. I humbled myself, went to their houses, listened to them. And then I received everything they told me. There was no turning back. Because once you issue a letter through a WhatsApp, it's clear that you are not concerned whether it gets leaked or intercepted or anything. So I knew there was no point of return, but I owe it to the membership of the EFF to go and ask, not in an arrogant manner, quietly, what happened? I'm unable to give you that explanation because I never received one. So, fighters, as you grow up in the movement, you ought to know that whatever happens to you as a leader, especially at this level, you have a responsibility to go and explain yourself to the membership of the organization. Bari, ase re kwe ka dipampiri, re kwele ena monya tlile a tlo re tlhalosetsa gore na what happened. Le lena le tsamaya le le more confident that awa re di kwele mo di tswang ona. So comrades, we are here with the Secretary General to come and give an account, and we'll do that to all of South Africa, and the message will be the same because the facts never change. So we'll explain to all provinces what transpired. Mara also le hore batho ba re bone mathong ka re ge ba sa o bone ba ra o fedile gana ba tse gore lepara re sa ya bogoro a ona nto ba ka idia ba tlo re lebelela ke le bodija antši ka re ba tlo re lebelela ka bo television ba tlo iduma bena e ba e lebelela ka television ke le bodija ka bo ka re le ska ba duma lena ba Gauteng ebile le a tseba ke khale ba tsamaya mo mathong a lena ke re o lena le ska ba duma ba tloe lebella televisioneng le gane bjalo ba e lebeletše ka Facebook mara bona e be Facebook a lwetšeo tša bona re bone le o bona re tsamaya re kwa tseleng ka gore a se bona selo le ba tsamaile ba tseba baetapele ba bona ba dia ba ba thola ka mafastero rena ba reng ba mo kae ba khukhuna ba nyoko kwa lwetša EFF ba sa tlo di tsena ke a botša ke le boditše ka bona before ke le botša ka bona no like bana bale ba tsamaile le ba sa tlo e thola EFF ba re e di tsamaya jwang why this organization will never die this organization will never die so please we thank you very much stop the messages pastors thank you for the prayers we are done please don't send us any message of this too shall pass which one because it has passed. It keeps on passing. It shall pass. It must pass at some point. It has passed. So please, we appreciate the messages. We appreciate the prayers. We appreciate our families. You know, my two aunts called me and prayed with me on the phone. Barno, omungotlo leader tapelo. Bona ba tla no shala ka momora apola leader ntapelo e bile o fetša before ba le ba rileng leaderage ka radia boa wa rapelwa deep line o senyeile ke re SG ga ne re bona batho ba bona eng re na re sa e bone ke re hey wa tswa ile so with my experience I wrote hoteja ground for ground is alone na and recreate the ground. They did not take away the ground of the EFF. They will never destroy the ground forces of the EFF. EFF is here to stay. EFF is alive today. EFF is alive tomorrow. EFF is alive in the future. The economic freedom in a lifetime will be achieved by this generation. If not our generation, many generations after us will pick up the baton and continue the struggle for economic freedom. This organization belongs to you. I hand it over to you. Look after your organization. Look after the workers. Look after the domestic workers. Look after the poor. Look after the youth. Deliver free education in our lifetime in the universities, branches of the EFF. Defend your movement. Amanda! Amanda! Viva EFF, viva! Abawe mayela tugo, abawe! Abawe mayela tugo, abawe! Amanda! Long live EFF, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Peter Mukaba, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Chris Hani, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Winnie Mandela, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Walter Sisulu, long live! Amanda! Forward to economic freedom, forward! Forward to economic freedom, forward! Auno makuvi siaya siaya no makuvi siaya siaya no mabesetubola besishaya besibopa no mabesetubola besishaya besbetrayals no makuvi siaya siyaya noma kubi siyaya siyaya noma besithobola besishaya besibopha noma besithobola besishaya besibopha kubi kubi yo siyaya siyaya kubi kubi yo siyaya siyaya noma besethobola besishaya besibopha noma besithobola besishaya besibopha. Who left? Who right? Numasa. Who left? Kita. Killer man. Hiri wata wata. Sama rumo. Sama rumo rumo. yet you are xenophobic. You can't say you are an activist and a fighter, yet you hate your fellow Africans. You can't say you are an activist and a fighter, yet you hate your fellow Africans. You can't say